The God who chooses to dwell with his people. This passage from 1 Kings brings us to one of the most sacred moments in Israel's history, the dedication of the temple in Jerusalem. After years of wandering, struggle, and longing, God's people finally gather to welcome the Ark of the Covenant into the place prepared for it. This moment is not just about a building. It is about God choosing to dwell among his people. A community that comes together. The reading begins with King Solomon assembling all Israel elders, leaders, and families before the Lord. This gathering reminds us that faith is not meant to be lived in isolation. God's presence draws people together. Motivation begins here. Great moments of faith are communal moments. When people unite with a shared purpose honoring God, remembering his promises, and seeking his guidance, something powerful happens. Unity creates space for God to act. 2. Carrying what is sacred. The priests carry the Ark of the Covenant into the temple. Inside the Ark are the stone tablets, the sign of God's covenant, God's word given to Moses. Nothing flashy. No gold trophies, just the reminder of God's law and faithfulness. This motivates us to reflect. What do we carry at the center of our lives? God desires to dwell where his word is honored, where his covenant is remembered, and where his presence is treated as sacred. God's presence fills the temple as the ark is placed in the Holy of Holies. A cloud fills the temple so completely that the priests cannot continue their work. This cloud is a sign of God's glory. It reminds us that God's presence is not something we control, it is something we receive. When God shows up, human effort pauses, pride fades, silence takes over. Motivation flows from this truth. We do not need to impress God. We need to make room for him. When God fills the space, everything else finds its proper place. 4. God dwells in mystery, not distant. Solomon then declares, "The Lord has said that he would dwell in a dark cloud." This is a beautiful reminder that God is present even when we do not fully understand him. Faith does not require clarity. In every moment it requires trust. Motivation grows when we realize that God's closeness does not depend on perfect conditions. Even in uncertainty, even in silence, God is near. 5. Motivation for our lives today. This passage invites us to ask, have I made space for God in my life? Do I treat God's presence as sacred or as secondary? Am I building my life as a dwelling place for the Lord? Just as Solomon built a temple of stone, we are called to build temples of the heart, places where God is welcomed, honored, and trusted. Conclusion: make room for God. 1 Kings 8 reminds us that God keeps his promises. He chooses to dwell with his people. He fills what is offered to him. When we gather in faith, when we carry what is sacred, when we make room in our lives, God shows up. May we live as people who prepare a dwelling place for the Lord, not just in buildings, but in our hearts, our families, and our daily choices. And may God's presence fill our lives with purpose, peace, and strength.